Welcome to Nielsen 101 Orientation Part 2. The last orientation discussion dealt with ratings, shares, and HUTs. And if you recall, the rating is the estimate of the number of households or homes using television out of all the potential homes, households that could have the TV turned on. The share is the percentage of the people or households that are actually using the television at a particular time tuned to a particular station. And so, of course, you have to know the HUD in order to calculate the share. We said that rating can be 17.5, but shares do not have decimal points. We move on here and we look at some cautions also with shares in terms of calculating across day parts or down day parts and across, whether or not you can or not. And so it's okay to add shares down if you're using equivalent quarter hours. Noted here, 5 to 5:15 p.m. That is a quarter hour. Typically, things are measured in quarter hours. Oftentimes, you may only be able to sit down for 15 minutes, or they've just done research that knows people's attention span tends to be there. Quarter hours are also very useful for radio because it's 15 minutes is usually the average time that someone listens to the radio. But back to the slide here, we see that on Monday, 5 to 5:15, household share. So if WNAC had a 15 share and a 20 share for WPRI, that you can add down in order to get a 35 share for these two stations during that quarter hour. As noted here, do not add shares across different day parts. It's the same as it was with ratings. You can't go across. Can't go across. Don't average shares either. So from 4 to 5, WNAC had a 20, and from 5 to 8, PRI had a 30. You can't average the shares during these within the day parts. It's just not going to work. It's inaccurate information. So these are cautions that you should be familiar with. And of course, if you get a sales job in television as an advertising account executive, these are things you're going to definitely need to know. We move forward here, hoping that the slide will make the transition. And we have gross rating points, the GRPs, and we want to determine what that really is through a definition. It's bottom line, a sum of ratings points. A sum of ratings points is noted. WNAC's audience from Monday through Friday from 6 to 6:15, and we're going to look down at the ratings. These are ratings, even though there's no decimals. That on Monday they had a 20. Well, why is that? You see Monday once, Monday twice. I see no others, so thus it's 20% out of these 10. Tuesday the same thing. Tuesday, that's 30. 40. Wednesday having the most. You see there for W's, Thursday and Friday. When you add all of the ratings for each day of the week within the 5-day period, it's 150 gross ratings points. There's no adjustments, there's no changes. It's simply the rating for that particular station, WNAC, on that particular night is a 20 or a 30 or 40, etc. Then you add those together for the regular weekday gross ratings points. Moving forward, another term you want to be familiar with is reach or cume. You may have heard this in other classes. The reach or cume, it's like what you're looking for is the number of different or unduplicated, perhaps said non-duplicated, households or persons that are exposed to a TV program or commercial at least once. You're only counting folks once. So if you happen to see a commercial one time, that's it. You're counted in the cume, but you're not counted 6 or 7 times if you keep seeing it over and over. Thus, the cume, the reach, is the single exposure. Let's see if we can deduce here. We're still on WNAC. Monday. Well, it doesn't matter. because Monday has already been noted here. Tuesday and Wednesday, this knocks everything out. So we look for a Thursday. There we go, and we're looking for Friday. Um, I am slightly confused about why it says 7 WABC households over 10 um, Monday through Friday. But the reach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what we're talking about. I think he meant to have WNAC right here, not WABC. But whether you were exposed Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and again, it doesn't matter. All you have to have is one, a single one, and you count as the reach. So the cume or the reach for this particular universe here of 10 households is 70. 70% of these households saw the show or commercial at least once. Frequency is different from the cume because you're actually looking at how many repetitions there are. The average number of times a household or person viewed a program, station, or commercial during a specific time period. Again, we're talking quarter hours, 6 to 6:15, Monday through Friday. Again, we're with WNAC, and we say, all right, 1, 2. Well, the easiest way to do it, number of times a commercial was viewed, which is your gross ratings point, which you were calculated earlier, divided by the reach, which we just calculated in the previous slide. So 150 divided by 70 equals 2.1 times. So a commercial was seen on average 2.1 times. So if you're trying to tell a potential client to advertise on your station, they're going to want to know, well, how often will my commercial be seen? Within a 15-minute period, through an average week, your commercial as the advertiser was seen about 2 times. Well, that means that you're getting a lot of people exposed to your product or service. So frequency. What's the frequency, Kenneth? Yes, that is an REM song that you perhaps have heard before. It has to do with Dan Rather, who claimed that when he was mugged that he heard someone yelling, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" And so REM wrote a song about it. A little trivia for you. Not even a Springsteen trivia, it was a REM's trivia. But I digress. Frequency of distribution, or frequency distribution, is the next term, meaning the number or percentage of households or persons that are exposed to a given program, station, or commercial 1, 2, 3 times. You're looking not just at the single exposure, and you're not looking, and you just want to know how often are people seeing it more than once, 2, 3, 4 times, and that's helpful. Illustration, quarter hour again, Monday through Friday. The percentage of households that saw the program at least once, 70. So that's all 7 that have a letter over it or multiple letters. Percentage of households that saw the program at least twice. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. So that's why you get 60, 60 over 10, or 6 over 10, 60%. Percentage of households that saw the program at least 3 times. And we've got 1 and 2, the bookends, 20%. So frequency distribution. Now we put it all together. The gross ratings points, the reach, and the frequency. It's WNAC, Monday, 5 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. This is your average quarter hour. Monday's rating actually was 30. See how you get that? You have 3 households out of 10. 3 over 10 equals 30% of the potential universe, which here is 10, are watching television. The gross ratings point of both Monday and Tuesday are the same. So when we add those together, we see we have a 60%. To figure out who was exposed at least one time, the cume, the reach. How many people did you reach out to? We have 3 households over 10. 1, 2, 3 over 10, 30 times. So each one of these counts per day. And then the frequency with which it was seen, well, 60 gross ratings points from here, 30 for the reach, it means 2 times. So the gross ratings points is the frequency times the reach, or I said that backwards, the frequency times the reach. GRPs, reach times frequency. So illustration is pretty effective there. We move on. Station totals, a station's total viewing audience. You really want to know in the thousands what you are trying to reach, how much you have collected in terms of viewing audience. We need to have some cautions about the station totals. It's okay to add across or down if you're using exclusive groups. This goes back to what we said before. The women 18 plus, you can add across or down. Well, if it's saying exclusive groups, you can add down, so 73,000 plus the 12,000 is here, and you get 85,000. So what they did is they said, look, it's women and men. Well, they're all 18 plus, so we just make them all adults, so we can add across in this particular situation. We can add down, of course, 73 here, 96 here, 86 here, 255,000 women 18 plus on all 3 stations. So we reached 255,000 women 18 years of age or older. So that wraps up some of the terms. Some of the methodology that is used in collecting the data include diaries. We haven't talked a whole lot about those. Perhaps you've read a little bit more. It can be a random telephone contact sample. They'll find listed and unlisted telephone numbers that will recruit households cooperation, and they'll send them a 1-week diary to record their quarter-hour viewing. I've seen these, have examples of these actually in my office, and it's simply a booklet, and you write down what you've been watching on television, the dates and times, and record what the shows are. So that's the diary. You report what's going on. Meters, these are ones that are hooked up to your set. I actually there's a family in town, a couple of my friends, husband and wife, who actually are a Nielsen family, and they have their numbers that they punch in, so when they turn on the TV, it records what they're watching. If friends come over, they can add them to it as well. So they have preset information, demographic information, psychographic information. You take random samples of these meters that are only 300 to 500 households. That's all it takes to get a statistically rough estimate of what the nation is watching over during television watching time. Meters do measure whether the set is on or off, which channel selected. It also includes sets, DVDs, DVRs, video games, and you can see the use of VCRs. This is an older slide. They monitor viewing minute by minute, and we get overnights. So that's why that slide that was shown about the ratings for the night before, they use the overnights. They're select markets, and it kind of gives us a good general idea of how well American Idol did, or how well Dancing with the Stars did, or Sunday Night Football for that matter. There are some adjustments that can be made for VIPs. These are where they're trying to triangulate and put together a more accurate picture of television viewing. 10-meter household rating, 8-meter, the rating of 8 in the diary. So when you divide 10 over the diary rating, you get a 1.25 and multiply it by the 4 diary demo rating, and you get a 5-meter adjusted demo rating. So here is a more accurate measure, because there was some discrepancy. So they've done some adjustment with this statistically to get a more accurate measure. Projecting ratings and cost per point. Projecting ratings. The most recent share times the 1 year ago's person using television. You want to know what the impressions are. Ratings multiplied by the universe estimates that were given in another table. More for you to just understand that their impressions is a term that you want to know. Cost per point or cost per thousand. This is what really is the big deal. The advertiser wants to know how much is it going to cost. Well, it's going to cost $200 per point, per ratings point, or it's $2 per thousand that I reach. Here it's saying that if the spot was $1,000 and I have a 5 rating for a show, it's going to cost me $200,000 per point, so or $200. So if you multiply 5 times 200 and you get 1,000. Another way of saying it is that if it cost you $1,000 to put your ad on to run so many times that you can get 500,000 impressions for $2 per thousand. So per 1,000 people, it costs you $2. So CPM or CPP are very important because this is going to help us break down how much it's going to cost us to buy an ad. Therefore, if you have higher ratings, then you can increase the cost of your ad spot so that because it's worth it to reach a lot more people. And that's why they're paying millions of dollars in the Super Bowl to reach all those millions of folks watching the game and all the other parts of the programming that surround it. So as the summary here, we dealt with designated market areas, the DMAs, the metro markets, and the remainder. We'll do some more on this with some other postings. Universe estimates, the homes using television, the persons using television, the rating, the average of households that actually could use TV, shares, the average or the percentage of homes that are actually watching a particular station or show. And I think I said average here for rating, of course, is the percentage of the households that could use TV. The gross ratings points, you can add them across the week. Reach and cume, a single, you're counting all the single touches of your ad and or show. Frequency, how often do they see the same ad or show. The distribution, 1, 2, 3, and 4 times, and of course the station totals. How many thousands of folks are you reaching, and of course you can calculate your CPPs and your CPMs from that. Methods, as we know, to the diary, the meter, and there's the meter diary adjustment for some VIPs, and projecting the ratings and CPPs. So if you do have questions, feel free to send a note in the Course 10 email, and appreciate you listening. We will have more coming, but this has been part 2 of Nielsen 101 orientation. So thank you, and look forward to the next session.